Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Chichester Chats. It's me, Phil. Lilith is here.
Yo.
Justin is here.
Woohoo!
And of course, we couldn't do this without Captain Comic-Con himself. It is DG Chichester.
And thank you guys for the invitation and for waiting for me, since I am late to this show.
You're a busy man. You're jetting off to one place or another every week here.
It's true. It's true. Moving about, trying to keep myself relevant. Doing the Clint Eastwood, don't let the old man in, attitude.
Hey man, you're gonna have some projects coming up here soon, including that short story.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. You saw the cover.
I didn't see the cover. I saw you said it's is it coming soon?
Yeah. Dan Brereton just posted the cover. I guess I thought he was doing it in July, but I guess I saw a post from him and he said it's I think they're going now for a fall release. Maybe that makes more sense.
Okay.
Horror anthology, but
Nice.
he posted the cover and it's Dan Brereton, so it's it's a banger of a cover, not surprisingly. So it's very cool looking, and there's a lot of really sharp writers in there, so it's nice to be included in that mix.
That's great.
So if you go pre-order the book and comment, "Damn it, I bought this book for DG Chichester."
Exactly.
Yes.
I never made it past the seas, and it's hold on to those for other things. No, that was a great experience. I mean, that was just but it's the typical sort of I'm going to say editorial experience where they had asked me to do it in January. I was like, well, I'm pretty busy right now. I don't know if I can get to it right away. You can have till like March or something. And I was like, okay, that sounds good. But I was really jazzed and actually wrote it like in a week and sent it to them. And they were like, this is really good. This is really great. We really like it. And then that's it. I didn't hear anything.
Mm.
And then about a month ago, then they they sent it back to me and said, oh yeah, we looked at it and here's a bunch of changes. So
Redlining, no worries.
Yeah. And they were like, and they were the sort of changes that, your first read is like, what the, you're doing like Chris Evans and like, Free Guy or something like that, but then I've learned, you walk away from that stuff and then you come back and you just turn it into like a punch list of things to do. And I think all of them were good comments, and I think they made the story better, but it was the kind of thing would have been great to do it back in January, and not closer to their wire as they were trying to lay it out and do everything else. But it'd be interesting to see if there's any good response to it, and also how it stacks up with the other stories. And if you guys want to talk about that on an episode,
Absolutely.
get you a copy of the story as it is, ahead of time, and we can do that.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Definitely want to talk. Yeah, we love talking all your stuff, but especially current stuff. It's fresh on the brain. Yeah,
and it's different. I mean, it's
Oh yeah, so especially like that. Yeah, it's not comics.
It's right. It's prose and stuff, and there were there's some bits in it that I think pick up on some comic themes in a way, which I didn't totally think about immediately, but some folks I gave to as beta readers, to make sure I wasn't going to totally whiff it.
Was Greg one of the beta
I was going to say,
and he beat me up on it, as his, I guess both, privilege and joy, to sort of take me to the woodshed on it. Yeah. But a couple other people, I just kind of called up some folks and just, said, hey, would you take a look at this? And there was a little cold read on their part.
Oh, nice. Oh yeah, we'll definitely talk about that. All right, but this time, we're talking about something a little older.
Yes.
Nightstalkers.
There we
What do
go.
you mean? The 90s were just 10 years ago. What are you talking about, Phil?
Yeah, exactly.
Two banger Garnies. So before I get into it, because you know where I'm going to go, you know, I'm interested in what you guys think of this story, or you know, or I'm happy to dive in, but I'll just, you know, use the knife on the second cover there and, you know, slice it to pieces. But
I mean, it was good. I mean, it wasn't your typical, hey, the Punisher meets somebody, they fight for half an issue. It's like
True.
Punisher doesn't even run into the Nightstalkers till like the end of the second issue.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was very novel, especially for the 90s.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
I love this. I love the villain Shiv. I thought he was great. And I loved the twist. I wasn't expecting the twist with the victim of Shiv's attack becoming an antagonist himself. I thought that was great. I love that.
Yeah, I like that. I did. I think there's bits in here. You know, I think there's.
Yeah, it's like I like what this guy did here. Yeah.
I like the, you know, there's some for me there's some very, very unfortunate heavy cliches. You know, the whole robe guys in a, you know, in a graveyard chopping up cats and
oh yeah,
and that sort of thing. But yeah, Justin, I think there is something interesting about that victim becoming, you know, sort of an antagonistic force and picking up on the wrong influences from Castle. But you know, but the and you know, Castle's even like not guilt, but it's sort of like questioning, like, what did I say? What got this guy going in this way?
Right.
You know, that is kind of interesting.
Yeah,
but it did need, you know, it didn't need an alliance. Now, I don't mean by alliance, I don't mean necessarily like team up alliance thing, but it needed, you know, to be aligned with, you know, the Nightstalker characters more. And that could have been in, you know, if I was to rewrite this and, you know, I feel like that would have been the real spine of the story, you know, more of like looking at it from those perspectives, you know, a guilty person and the whatever, the wrongness of the supernatural, you know, the wrongness of the person and the wrongness of the supernatural, you know, from each of their perspectives. Because, you know, right now they're sort of on a very divergent path and they just happen to end up at the same scene, you know, toward the end in a way. And that's just not good, like, structure to me. You know, it's like there were all these ideas and some of them I think were full of potential, and I have to, you know, I'm blaming editorial on this one, you know, which I don't normally do, because this is the sort of thing I think a sharp editor would do, is look at a story like this and say it doesn't work. You know, like there's pieces here and there's lines and there's, you know, there's moments and there's character building, but there's a lot, it's, you know, it's kind of hard to track. There's a lot going on. And I don't think that's fair to, you know, to readers, you know, or the characters, you know, overall. My favorite bit is, like, you know, Blade sipping herbal tea, like in the doorway.
yeah, that was great.
Listen, you're a little too hard on yourself. I'm a very simple creature. I like things that get set on fire, and I like things that go boom. This is boxes.
But listen, you know, that's cool too. And then, and this page, you know, like delivers on
What
it,
do you mean? Exactly.
You know, you know. Yeah, I mean, there's bits, there's the usual, like, you know, grumbling of the Nightstalkers all the way through. Nobody smiles. All the you know, important character moments there. But I mean, if that, as readers, what you take away from it is, you know, primary, right? You know, that's if you read it and you have a good experience with it, or a bad experience, you know, there could be something I love and and think it's the bee's knees, and people are like, I don't get it. What am I going to do? Well, no, you don't understand, right? I was this, and there's this, and there's this theme, and don't you love that line, and don't you love this? It's explaining a joke, right? If it doesn't land, it doesn't land. But if it does land, and it sounds like it does, then that's cool too. I'm just looking at the pieces with the, I think, advantage of experience and the suffering of years to sort of say I would this could have been better overall, and delivered on on it, instead of feeling like what I think it is, which is an assembly of parts. And it's not an assembly of parts like Javistus, that we looked at we got to pick something for next time that I'm really going to love. But I mean, which I thought was totally flat, right? There was nothing there. And I'll stand by that. I think there's lots of bits in this that are pretty good. I was really digging the Frank Drake, bits, with the, I mean, of course, Garney's art is just like magnificent.
Oh, yeah.
That's
I love it. Yeah.
And I mean, that's classic good structure, right? Punisher's got a great, punish button line at the end of the scene. It's brooding, it's marvelous, more of that, please. The nurse has her impossibly tight outfit, in the background, all good things for 90s comics.
It was the 90s.
It was the 90s. But I just, the Frank Drake stuff I thought was really interesting, when we were describing like the technology and the nanites or whatever, mining with the supernatural. It's like more of this, sort of thing, kind of weaving between the three is a rhythm I wish I had achieved a little bit more, kind of passing as a team, passing from, say, the nanite delivery to King's transformations to Blade swordsmanship. I mean, it's all in there at different places, but I think it would have been a more effective scenes if they had sort of flowed one into the next. Yeah, I love that shot.
So good. Yeah.
Gagarade.
Well, you're on it, Lilith.
Yeah.
I do my best. I try to bring something to the table.
Yeah.
You know what these issues brought up for me is, like, I feel like in the 90s we missed out on even just like a fill-in for you for like Punisher, since Punisher had like 20 books in the 90s. Remember when you did that 2-issue fill-in on Wolverine when Larry needed like
a month
or two off? Because I'm like, you've written a lot of Punisher. I mean, here, these issues, and Daredevil, that Captain America Punisher. You could write a Punisher. And like in this story, I'm thinking, oh man, the Punisher, you get the Punisher. I'm like, okay, this is completely Frank, the hypocrite that he is, telling the guy, oh, don't kill the guy who killed your family. Yeah, don't kill him.
Right. Me, I'm the guy. I'm the one who
do as I say.
Do as I say, not
I do.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh.
How dare you try to murder the guy who murdered your family?
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, I like the Punisher as a character. I liked writing him. I think I'm pretty good at writing him. I'm not like Steve Grant, who is sort of my high water mark, for the Punisher. I think, that was the book when he did with Zek that really, I thought was just nailed it. And I know like Chuck Dixon later, took on the mantle and did a lot of really solid work, and Barron did, I think some okay work, with it. But to me, Zek and Grant were like, in that mini series that really, blew the Punisher big. I think that's like the one that I always try to emulate. And so I think he's a character that delivers and has a lot of potential. And when I had a chance to play with him, I think I've always done him, justice. But
I feel like he could be a tricky character. Like there are writers, yourself included, who when you write a Punisher, you write a good Punisher. But there's other people I don't know if they don't get the essence of the character, or it's like, he carries big guns.
Sure, and I think there's been a lot of that, and too much of that. Certainly, there's crazy murder, kill, death shit with him. I mean, no reflection on Grant Morrison's overall talent, but I hate that stuff, that was done, in the Red or whatever Max or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Welcome Back, Frank, and
yeah.
I read a bunch of that stuff because at one point after Black Armor, Devin Lewis was teasing out the idea that he wanted to do like a retro Punisher series. And, he liked what I had done in that 60th anniversary issue. And he was talking about, maybe doing something together on that, which never came to be. So I, just to try to prep for that, I did a lot of reading, and I hated all that stuff. He was both needlessly, violent, which I know sounds ridiculous. With the Punisher, but I think the Punisher is methodical, and the Punisher is,
he's too robotic. Yeah.
He's the Terminator. I mean, he can, and so he's ruthless, and he's planned, and he's like, and obviously things go awry, but he approaches it with just this relentlessness and just the mad killing of some of those stories. Phil, I think is that. An approach. People treat him like a monster, or they treat him like a convenient murderous idiot,
First of all,
or
they still managed to make him incompetent.
Yeah,
that's the worst of it all. That's the worst.
There was one bit in one of those books that I was reading, and I don't remember which one it was. It might have been the Welcome Back, Frank one or whatever, and it just stuck with me. And it was he's fighting some murderous Russian guy, I think, who's been stopped.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, all right. So the scene.
The big, huge, like, I just read it recently.
Yeah, and
big,
so,
huge, unstoppable. He's supposed to be unstoppable.
Right. And he he's beating the shit out of Castle in this kitchen, and then, he's got the drop on him, and he knocks Castle to the floor, and he's going to stomp on his head or whatever. And then conveniently, Frank Castle finds a revolver that he had lost under the stove. So, and then
that was the cook's.
He grabbed. Oh, that's where I left that. And he grabbed.
Convenient.
Thank God I didn't mop the floor yesterday.
For fuck's sake! I mean, that's lazy writing. It's the convenient. I don't know what to do. Oh, look. I forgot I had this, this knife belt on or something like that.
But it's also, it happens.
But it happens all the time. I mean,
I'm in Florida though, so I can't speak.
But it's true. It's like, oh look, I had an alligator in my pocket. That's legit in Florida, right? You can actually kind of get away with that. But lazy, convenient, Deus ex machina, shit, but also like lazy, to the character, Frank Castle, this planning machine, not knowing where every single one of his weapons is, right? That's kind of like, bad.
Or not being able to improvise in the middle of combat when you
firearms. I mean, improvise, right? Exactly. Yeah. Like, I mean,
it's like you're in the kitchen. If he pulls out a steak knife, it's not going to
exactly.
It's the whole thing. I mean, I know I mentioned this before just because I love saying it, but I mean, when I did the Punisher Captain America series, there used to be this imprint called Paladin Press. That would sell crazy shit like the Anarchist Cookbook and, stuff like that. I mean, now you can just like look it up, but then you had to order it. And I ordered my full set of How to Kill, 7 volumes. And that was like my Bible, to sort of like plan
You're
out.
Lucky now, you'd be on a list today, buddy.
Well, we're talking. I'm back on the list, and but and later when we had our son, my wife was like, all those go on the top shelf. Those go like big. But there was just so many bits in there of like improvising things, and there was a scene in the Cap thing where he's he's fighting a guy in the subway. The guy in the subway gets the drop on him, but Castle just smashes. Castle has nothing. He just smashes his hand through a window, and he in the subway, and he grabs the shard of glass like a knife, and he just squeezes it. The line is like something. It cuts into my hand, and I squeeze harder. But now he's got a knife, right? So in the kitchen, Justin, I think you just said it. Yeah, it's a kitchen. Like a table leg.
I was waiting for him to take out one of those mallets that.
Yeah, exactly.
Potatoes with
right,
in the face with it.
Here's an old bag of onions that are half rotted. It's
or a rolling pin.
Moldy bread. Anyway, right. So there's moments in this story, where I knew him, I could key into him, but I felt like I wanted what he was saying to. The victim, the Kasim guy, became this sort of burning, thing of vengeance. I wanted that connection with the Nightstalkers more, more aligned of how they were looking at this, tracking this guy down and what they were going to do. And I think, Ron did, the best he could with Shiv, but Shiv was like just a weird as, villain, these knives kind of infected into him and connected to him. I think I was trying to do like more of a bullet, sort of approach to him. Or a bushwhacker approach, I guess, bushwhacker's got the guns built into his arms. And I think I was trying to do something similar with the knives. And, I probably over-indexed on the gruesome description and not enough on the how could we make this work so Ron had something solid to work with as opposed to just knives everywhere sticking out of his head
and again, it's Nightstalkers. It's not like, oh hey, okay, the villain's gonna look like a male model this time, and
right. But you want it to have logic, and you want to have and you want it to have a solid, I think, visual reference point, and you wanted to, build to something. And I felt like Shiv starts off pretty one note and pretty cliched when he's killing the cat, in the graveyard. And it's not like he really.
It wasn't a dog. We're good.
Yeah, we're good.
Yes, and they saved him before he.
That's right. Yeah, he's good and confident, right? He can't even kill the cat.
These two are like, it's fine. The humans died, not the animals. Yeah,
exactly
right. Yes,
it was save the cat before save the cat was a popular storytelling device, and but he needed to be more. He felt much more like a plot device to me than somebody interesting. The Kasim character becomes much more interesting because he's got the vengeance, motivation. His family's been killed, and he's literally burning up with rage, and vengeance, and stalking, somebody there. So I think that could have been consolidated too.
How appropriate that Ghost Rider was the next.
Yes,
yes,
that's right. Just keep stacking it in. But again, I feel like editorial should have flagged these kind of things. Like there's good bits there, there's workable bits there, but I feel like this was just allowed to sort of slide through. And there was a I don't know if editorial understood the line books beyond the success of Ghost Rider, which of course fueled the whole creation of the Midnight Suns. I think there was a certain level of like, we don't really get this. We don't really get this supernatural stuff. And but you guys seem to, so we're going to let you roll with it and run with it. And yeah, we did. You know, like Len was deeply into it. I was deeply into it. You know, Chris was.
So there were a couple of editors, right, on this book. So
yeah, I mean, Bobby started as it, then it was passed over. I can't remember to who. But I think Bobby may have still been the editor on it at this point.
Yeah.
But
Hildy
Mesnick would become the editor, and she was the editor who fired me, later on, because I made one ridiculous request, and she said, "Yeah, you're just not going to work out on this." Okay, well, I guess there's that. Yeah, there was a moment during the first story conferences were great, when we came up with the whole Midnight Suns mythos and we were collaborating and everyone was having a great time. It was so much fun. But by the time we got to the second one, which would have led into whatever the next big storyline was, Siege of Darkness or something like that. I remember we had all pitched something. We'd all worked sort of like to the side, we'd come up with this, whatever the storyline was that we really liked, and we were all kind of really jazzed about it. And then we were describing it in the story conference, and I remember this one assistant editor saying, "Yeah, that's too sci-fi horror." And we all looked at
Have you read that book, baby?
Exactly.
You know where you work, sir.
All the writers,
Rubber stamp.
and any artists that were in the room. I think it was just the writers. We all looked at each other and we basically said, unconsciously through our looks, this is doomed. Because if you get too sci-fi horror, this is exactly what this line is. Now it had problems because of that. I personally feel it leaned. In retrospect, I feel it leaned too much into that in some ways. Like a story like this is so infused with, supernatural ritual and tropes and grisly gruesomeness. It's kind of hard. It's a kind of a hard entry point for your everyday reader. And again, if I was doing it over again, I would be more careful about that.
I love the Marvel universe where the Punisher should be freaking out about all this supernatural stuff, but meanwhile at the end his only comments basically like, you know what, if this were any other day I might have to take a closer look at you three Nightstalkers. Right.
Yeah, exactly. Back on mission, and it's
if all this crazy shit hadn't happened today, I might be coming after you guys.
Right. Which fits,
I think he had met Blade before, hadn't he? Somewhere. I thought.
I'm sure there must have been I mean, that would have been a cool story, right? Blade.
They're both members of the Black Leather Club, of course. They're
yeah. They go to the same.
They probably shop at the store.
Yeah.
Hey, talk to Logan this week. Yeah,
exactly. He borrowed my jacket. He brought it back, covered in blood stains. It's all that.
Oh man, I can't believe they were talking about giving you a retro Punisher series. I'm like, I need a retro Punisher versus Daredevil miniseries from you. Come on.
Yeah.
Well, that would have been fun. I mean, that's what inspired it, because he had given me that short little story in that 60th anniversary thing, which was he wanted to do like a meet up between the Black Armor Daredevil and Punisher, and he was he seemed genuinely surprised and a little bit disturbed, actually, like how quickly I sort of fell into a good Punisher rhythm, that I got the Punisher, that's what sort of like had him opening the door to that conversation, but as I said, it just didn't. There was never anything that came up from it, and I reached back out to him at whatever timeline, he said, let's talk in like 2-3 months, and there was radio silence on that. on that outreach. So,
I don't know. These days, it just seems like there's chaos going on over there these days.
Yeah, there's a lot of change. I mean, Devin was unfortunately laid off, and that that was not an issue. It's just, and now Jimmy Palmiotti is doing a Punisher thing, which looks pretty great. I haven't read it yet, but so I'm sure that's probably much more in my enjoyment zone than some of the other crazy stuff. But these characters, I don't know. I guess they've done nothing with them after Nightstalkers ended. Which is kind of unfortunate.
I think Blade will pop up every so often, but
Blade will pop up, right? Even though nobody can possibly figure out how to make a movie with this character.
It's not Wesley Snipes, absolutely. Freaking Voldemort cursed the dark arts position, bro.
That Wolverine told you.
Then make it Wesley Snipes. Make it. It's not a complicated proposition. It really isn't. It doesn't have to be. I don't know what it has to be.
And now that they proved with Deadpool that you can successfully make a Marvel / Disney rated R movie, like, hello.
Yeah.
But I mean,
he'll do it. He'll do it. That's the thing.
There's amazing, right? I mean, you could do that, but I mean, I just can't. I can't understand how they've gone this long saying, "Oh, we're going to make a Blade movie," and they had perfect casting, and then now we stopped. Oh no, the costumes we were designing we gave to Simmons.
But baby, it's just black leather. That's in a nice sword. Yeah. That's all we need. And you can't make that work.
Yeah, it kind of
We're losing recipes at this point. Right.
I mean,
I know we can't call Bryan Singer, but his assistant director, something.
You could go to any comic convention, and grab who's ever there, and I guarantee you come up with a story treatment for 10 Blade movies by the end of the weekend.
At the end of the first day.
Oh, I thought you were going to say and have like a perfect Blade cosplay.
I mean, I'm sure I could dust over
I've seen some pretty killer Blade cosplays, no pun intended. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm sure Lilith has a bunch of them on her hard drive. Lilith, just take out the dirty parts.
Yeah, well, maybe. Let's see where the action takes us. Quite literally.
When you go back to the first one, it's the first Wesley one. It's a pretty straightforward story, but it's chock full of style and attitude
it's so funny how they played that first one when it first came out, because I swear half the general public didn't even know it was
nobody knew who he was.
Nobody knew. Yeah, it was great.
Nobody knew.
Vampires are it is a recession indicator. Vampires are back in vogue. So
that's true.
I mean, we went to see it. Me and I can't remember who I went. I think Steve Busolato might have been one of them, and we got free tickets. And we were all like, "Oh yeah, Blade movie," and figuring it was just going to be like a piece of shit. We all kind of went with, it's something to do and it's free.
The New Line Cinema. Oh no!
Hey, it was the year after Batman and Robin and on. So I don't blame you. Yeah.
And we came out of that looking at each other like that was the hardest movie, not hardest to get through, but hardcore.
Hard.
It just never let up. And just great casting. Wesley, who was Whistler, Chris Christopherson, and
he was too.
Yeah. I mean, it was just total adrenaline rush, just great stuff. And look at that as a model and just bring the character back. With that. But even, again, Wesley's reaction was, I'm sure if you guys saw Deadpool and Wolverine in the theater, when he showed up, the audience went nuts.
Oh yeah, they loved it.
It was almost as cool as when we got the 3 Spider-Mans. It was almost that kind of reaction, at least in my theater.
Yeah. I mean, do an old man, a Blade, movie, like an old man Logan sort of thing.
Yeah.
And it's sort of why not?
Come on, you can type up a screenplay, DG. We trust you.
Honestly, it's not complicated, and you can hit tropes and you can play it out and hit the right beats with it. And but again, I got no inside knowledge, and it would just be a fun way to play out the character, and a fun character to play with. So,
Blade movie for an October release. I mean, how hard?
Yeah.
If Clayface can get a movie, I'm just saying.
Absolutely. Well, listen,
it's overdue. We're overdue.
Since AI can do anything, according to everybody, like we can just have a Blade movie made with a single prompt. It's like a Blade movie, and like
Oh God, don't let AI write it. He'll show up and be like, "I suck."
All the vampires have 6 fingers.
Right.
I'll do a Blade movie. Use that to introduce Ghost
3
Rider.
fangs. They've all got 3 fangs, like next run. buck tooth fangs.
Nightstalkers, but I'm saying it's just not that hard. Let's get into the weird, creepy, dark side of Marvel already.
Yeah, I mean that. But listen, any of this stuff would have been the road in. I mean that was sort of like the feeling when the Darkhold showed up in well, it shows up a little bit in WandaVision, right? But then it really shows up in Agatha, all along. And I thought that was supposed to be like, oh, we're cracking the door open on this, but
and they shut it back.
Or even Doctor Strange. Use Doctor Strange to introduce all these characters.
Well, Doctor Strange was Doctor Strange was really like, he was our what we really wanted when we created the Midnight Suns, mythos, and we did. I'll sort of hold that up as a point of pride, that me and Howard and Chris, cooked up the whole backstory and the connective tissue between them, as well as Chris Darkhold, me assembling the characters this way, and all that sort of stuff. But we really wanted Strange, to be sort of like the Professor X of the Midnight Suns, but that office wouldn't let him go. They wouldn't and probably rightly so, given the lack, I think, of understanding of supernatural elements of the Midnight Suns editorial team in a way. But so we used him like in that just one little scene at the end of the first Nightstalkers, and then he would show up again intermittently, but he didn't have that same presence that you would think. The most here's a supernatural oriented set of books, and the most supernatural character in the Marvel universe is only tangentially attached to it.
I mean, the 90s, they think of nothing else. They would have been like, hey, we can get numbers up on the Doctor Strange book. Hey, Ghost Rider can show up at any time in the Doctor Strange book. So, hey.
Right. But, but it would also give it more just, logic synergy. But yeah, I mean, you're right. Doctor Strange could be played out as a doorway into, the supernatural side of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I guess
Multiverse of Madness should have went way harder than it did on
it had some moments. I mean, Raimi was definitely Raimi, and I know some people hate on that movie. I remember liking it, and I remember thinking the zombie Doctor Strange was just about the bee's knees. But
I love that.
But yeah, they anything that has the multiverse either in the title or as an inherent plot point is, to my mind, savagely, and rightfully doomed.
Oh, we were talking about Punisher. Did you see that one shot, that Punisher One Last Kill?
No. Unfortunately, I canceled the Disney subscription. Back when they bent the knee with all the other, with everybody else, I guess.
Good for you.
And I just haven't. I mean, I would love to have seen it, and I would.
I'd love to see the finished product.
Yeah, but
I mean, it's good, but I don't know if it's setting up stuff for when he appears next in the Spider-Man movie, but it almost seemed like, oh, hey, we got a new season of The Punisher, but we're only going to give you like episode 2.
You know what it was?
Too, right?
Yeah, it's only
like
an hour.
Shield Light. Yeah. It was Shield Light. It was an ad, an hour-long ad. For what's to
Okay.
come.
Yeah, it was only an hour, but yeah, like I said, it seemed like an income. It was good for what it was, but it seemed like there's more story here, but you're only giving us part of the story.
That's that's too bad.
You better hold on to him. Walking Dead learned that lesson, didn't they?
I mean, Bernthal's just so good, though. I mean, he really gets the character, and he projects, and he carries it. He's got the presence. So if they can hold on to him, and I am just in the trailer teasers alone, I mean, he's definitely the Punisher again, playing it out there. And while you only see a couple little quick, interchanges, I like how they're creating, some immediate shorthand dynamics, between Spider-Man and the Punisher without it feeling inauthentic, to either character.
Corporate synergy-ish.
Yeah. But it's like just you're starting to swear, and he covers his mouth up, and it's just it's a nice it's that sort of rhythm, it feels like, of creators who get the characters and have maybe hopefully found a way to sync them up properly.
Yeah, I think Bernthal might have co-wrote the special. I think.
Yeah, he pitched it for sure.
I heard something. Yeah, I heard. That. Like they had one idea, and he was like, maybe not, maybe this instead. And so we'll. But I know there's a lot of attention on it, and people seem to like it. So maybe you get more of it. Or if his appearance in the Spider-Man movie, works well, maybe they just go full in. I mean, there's that tricky thing, with the cultural aspect of, the people who sort of try to grab hold of the Punisher emblem and turn it into this, fascist declaration of, again, murder, death, kill. And so it's interesting that Marvel seems to be trying to write that, that ownership, and not burying it or sending him off to the Hand or changing the skull into this weird, whatever it was, fang demon thing that it was, for a short little window. It's just such a stark, effective design. Own it and and put it to use. But but you always have people who are going to co-op things like that.
Yeah. I mean, with the Punisher, a popular character. I mean, look at the 90s. He had the Punisher had 3 books.
3 books.
Oh yeah, I mean, he was huge. I mean, yeah, I mean, he was a moneymaker in his own right, and we put him in stuff. If you could get the Punisher to show up in your book, you'd get a boost, and it was a play, for those exact reasons. I mean, that's why I brought him in here. I don't think to the best of effect, as I said, but that was the reason. It's not like suddenly the story said the story should have said we need a Punisher thing, but it was mostly driven by let's go with a little sales boost. Why not?
Like I said, it makes sense. It's not like, oh, hey, gratuitous fight scene through half of the first issue or something. It's
no, and that wouldn't have been my solution, but I think there could have been, like some like connective alignment. I'll say alliance, and then an effective, like one of those effective, like dual fight scene type things where, if I'd say just gotten rid of Shiv or gotten rid of the other guy, and you had the one effective villain, then, half the fight scene, the Punisher's getting himself, is getting his ass kicked, and then the Nightstalkers have to pull him out, and then you reverse that, and, he gets to help them out, and then together they, rip the bad guy to pieces.
Or nice little meet cute,
Yeah, I mean, a meet cute that is, that's effective and hits the right rhythms, and then they can go their separate ways and still threaten each other and do all those good things.
Hey, the Nightstalkers. I heard of you guys. You're the guys Doctor Strange doesn't want to hang out with.
Right. That was like the great sin. It's a tricky thing. How much you lean into like a trope or something like that. But some tropes work really well, and they're an effective shorthand for certain things, but you have to be careful. I mean, that was when I think the great sin of like Secret Invasion, which is like you have the tropes built in of like old spy, dismissed
invasion,
and then play up Nick Fury as like the guy who still has it, and outwits all the Skrulls and the young spy masters or whatever, and they just whiff that, they just it's a mess on so many levels. But
oh man,
that's a common sort of spy master routine, if you will, but they didn't even bother playing with that.
No.
Yeah, that thing should have been much bigger. Maybe a movie, even something.
Just like you wasted like Samuel L. Jackson.
I know.
Yeah.
I got more out of him playing the talking shark in The Boys than I did out of
or snakes on a plane.
Exactly. We're gonna kill you.
Oh, that was the funniest. That was the funniest thing. The guy who plays the Deep said he didn't even know it was Sam Jackson until he watched it, because he just.
Oh, really?
I love it.
He said he just acts with a tennis ball, and then they put the voice in.
And then they put no idea.
That's great.
Right? We're gonna you so much as step in a pond, and that was awesome.
Oh man. But yeah, I would have loved to see you write more Punisher in the 90s again. Get again like the Wolverine fill-in. Get a 2-part Punisher story where Terror shows up.
Right.
Oh yeah.
He's gonna manifest that into existence. Don't you worry.
Yeah.
Exactly. We'll make it happen. No, I was always happy to work with the Punisher, and I felt like I got some good swings at it, and I feel I always did him, like I said, justice, or hit it in the right way, and didn't waste the opportunity.
Oh yeah, we need like a mini series, like one shots, like every issue Terror meets someone, like, or meets
Terror kills the Marvel Universe.
Yes, Marvel Universe. Yes,
especially Carnage.
One issue he has an adventure with the Punisher. Yeah, it's just it goes down the Marvel Universe.
Yeah, I love it. I noticed too that you wrote a one-shot Punisher and Black Widow that I haven't read yet. So
we covered that too. Yeah,
I'm excited.
That's mostly a good story. I mean, Larry did a strange choice on one of the splash pages, which made the story difficult to script. But I was happy with that story, and that's good. And you get to use Fury, and you get to use espionage, and
cool.
Yeah. That was a good one to work on.
Yeah, I'm excited to read that one. Yeah,
I might have to post links with this episode to that one, and then the Punisher Captain America. Yeah, because that Punisher Black Widow, I think that's one of the first ones we talked about.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Phil likes to revisit stuff, so don't be surprised if he wants to retalk it.
Maybe I'll have a different perspective on it now.
I was gonna say we got Justin now. Now Justin wants to talk all this.
That's right.
You can play sound clips of me from then, and sort of like.
We were just joking about that earlier, actually.
We're sitting here waiting. Lil's like, you should just have a bunch of drops. You can play it, Dan.
Right.
He's under the weather. He doesn't have to show those clowns.
Right.
The real Dan Chichester is under the weather this month. We have AI. Dan.
Oh, we can get a Dan puppet.
Yeah. A Dan bot. Yeah, that would be cool.
That's great.
Did you know I wrote Daredevil? No, I don't want to revisit stuff, because Dan's going to be like, "Oh, here's something I didn't notice before that I can flog myself."
No more chances for self-deprecation.
Yeah, exactly. I love him too much. Let him
let him wallow some more. Right.
Like, take a second shot, taking a shot at himself. No, I thought it was a good story. Again, you beat yourself up about it, but and again, especially for the time this was written, I think you did a good job on the assignment. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like I said, I'm not, and I appreciate that. I do. I just
again, it's not Carnage lining the streets with bodies.
No.
Yeah.
It's a '90s thing. It's got those excesses, which I'm not I never have a problem with that, and it's just, I just feel structurally it could have been the pieces that are good, things, Justin, you were talking about at the beginning and such, I think they could have been stronger. They would be stronger, with that sort of attention and streamlining, and somebody saying, here's your 5 ideas that work here, go back and revise this. And it feels like it was just sort of like, here's a plot, give it to Ron illustrates it, and it comes back to you, and then you're scripting on top of something that maybe wasn't in the best place, structurally to start with. So that's not like, denigrating myself so much, as just kind of being critical with a desire.
That editorial streak in you.
Yeah, it's like, for one, there's a story in there. There's a good story in there, and it would have been good to,
in 30-some years of hindsight,
raise it up a little bit more.
There's a lot of great parts in here, though. I think my favorite in number 5 was when the cultists saw Hannibal and they thought that he was the Dark Lord, and they started bowing down and worshiping to him, and then he sicks the wolves on him. I thought that was fantastic.
And I think last time we talked Nightstalkers, again, I love the inside joke of the giant gun being called Linda, as in Linda Blaine.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, there was fun bits in there, with
I think that was my favorite part of number 6, when he uses Linda on Shiv, because then all of a sudden Shiv could feel all of the blades and implements and things that he'd stuck into himself. That was great.
That's it. That's some of the more fun stuff for me.
Some of the details, and again, like using technology to fight the supernatural. I'm telling you, Dan, some people, especially in this era in the 90s, wouldn't be doing that.
No, not unless they're like called Egon Spengler,
Don't cross the streams.
I needed one of them to have like a mold collection or something like that. That
was fungus,
yeah.
I just watched, and it was so weird, the second of those newer Ghostbusters movies.
And
it was like a Frozen Wasteland,
Empire,
something like that. And it's like, did somebody like forget this is supposed to be a comedy? Because there was
well, again, I think with the first one way back in the day, it was a comedy, but then like, I don't know if they're picking up more people through like the sci-fi of it, and then I think this new ones are trying to drag in like more younger audiences and
the Stranger Things crowd.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, definitely there's that, and they even cast the Stranger Things. Actors.
Shout out to Finn Wolfhard.
Right.
Awesome last name.
But it wasn't, it didn't have that. It wasn't funny. That doesn't mean it was a bad movie. It just was like, there's not really any
humor out. What's the humor out?
They forget humor and color in movies these days.
Right.
We're bringing color back, though. Shout out to Superman 2020. Last Superman movie. Finally got color back in the cinema.
I don't know. Maybe they'll do some of that in Supergirl. Who knows?
Yeah, she's looking pretty colorful.
She looks. That doesn't look desaturated, so I'm super excited about that.
Yeah, she looks really good, actually. And I'm looking forward to that. Quite a bit. And I love the extended. I don't know if you saw the extended clip they put out with Lobo, which I think was,
that's basically Lobo's solo movie trailer.
Kind of. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you'll be breakout in this movie, and more power to it.
It's some perfect casting. Yeah.
Oh, it is. Yeah. It's I don't know if you saw this. I don't know if it was on Amazon or Netflix, but there's a Jason Momoa, Dave Bautista movie where they're half brothers, and they're like
I think I did see that.
One's an ex, of course, one's an ex special forces and one's whatever. But I got to tell you, the two of them have like the chemistry beyond, and you have to watch it if you have not seen it. And the dialogue and half the movie is Jason Momoa making fun of Dave Bautista's voice, you know, and there it is, Wrecking Crew.
Oh, okay.
Fabulous. And there's one line in it which I'll ruin, where somebody sees the two of them coming toward him. It's like, it's like The Rock fucked himself and had twins. And, and it's like, and it is really, honestly, of like something I had zero expectations of, like the two of them, big reco. Yeah,
that's great.
I think I remember seeing the trailer for that.
Yeah, but I have they seem like they get along, as actors, as professionals, but I would love to know if like Bautista had any awareness of like that Momoa was going to start like mocking him, like as they're doing the lines, because he's just ruthless,
All right, kids. Anything else on Nightstalkers?
Nope. Just
really
fun, bloody fun, bloody good
fun.
Yeah.
That should have been the cover copy. More bloody fun.
Bloody fun.
Good stuff. Yeah, thank you for the revisit. All cool.
Thank you. So, again, you're on your whirlwind tour of cons. Is there one coming up? Next weekend?
Next weekend, if you're in Washington State, all the way across the country, the Washington Summer Con, I think.
Oh, yeah. I actually got served an ad for that one with your face on it.
Oh, how exciting. So right outside of Seattle, which I thought, my initial impression was, it sounds like a small show, but it looks like it's actually quite a big show. But again, at a fairgrounds, so we'll see what that's all about. But that'll
Hopefully
be.
They have some fans and some fly strips for you.
Hopefully. Flies and humidity in Washington State, what I recall. And yeah, that'll be fun. Looking forward to that. And then we will probably see each other before anything after that, because the next one after that is Raleigh, which is late July. But yeah, so that'll be fun. Yeah, that'll keep me occupied. So very cool.
It almost seems like you're in a contest without even knowing it, either one of you, like you and JMD Mateus. It's like, okay, well, I'm going to be at this one. I'm going to be at this one. I'm going to be at this one.
Yeah.
How close can we get?
You run, if people are good enough to offer the opportunity and you can make it, it's great to meet people. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to go hang and like at Nashville, well, it was, like I said, so very slow. I got to hang with some people who I'd, never, met before. I knew Ron, and a bit, but we got to like, hang, more. And but I got to meet Stephanie Williams, who I hadn't met before, and catch up with Christopher Priest and Steve Orlando, who I had not met, and oh
wow, really?
Yeah, so it was, so there was a lot of like that sort of thing, Chuck Brown, who I hadn't met, and he and me and Leanna Congus were supposed to do a horror panel, but that ended up not happening. But we just, yeah, so it was a nice kind of professional sort of like kind of connection. Kyle Higgins, who I hadn't seen in a while, caught up with him, and so. Yeah, so that they're fun in that way. It makes me feel like I actually belong to a community a little bit,
Yeah, I tried to get an interview with Stephanie. I think her plate is very full at the moment.
Yeah. She seemed. I mean, it was day one, whatever. She had a huge news crew there, like from I guess a local station, and they were. So more power, to all the stuff she's working on. But
yeah, I think if not cons, there's just stores are saying, "Oh, come in and sign these copies of Daredevil."
Yeah, but Anyway, thank you guys. Again, sorry to be late to this one. What do we got on deck?
Yeah, I wanted to talk more of those cyber comics. We could talk Spider-Man for some reason in July. I felt like talking about Spider-Man.
That's a beat. It's a beach story. Did we ever talk about the cyber comic stuff before?
We did. We talked the X-Men one, but yeah, we didn't talk the rest of them. Yeah,
the cyber comics one is fun. Yeah, so we'll have to step through some of that, do a little bit of the animated, bits and things. That's a really fun story, actually.
He feels good about that one.
Actually, that's a story you'll hear absolutely any of the cyber comics. Really, you will hear no complaints from me. Oddly enough, I think because they were so, and we'll talk more about this, because they were so tight. Relatively short, like they had to work. Even with the sort of the shifting panels and stuff like that. And so maybe that was a real gift in that way. That's a great one. Thanks for picking that one out. All right, guys. You stay well and
you too.
Stay hydrated during the summer, and then we'll figure out the date and we'll be back soon before we know it.
Yes. Thank you, sir. Great.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Be well.
See ya.
Lilith, I feel like it's been a while since we got a good Dan drubbing of himself,
Yeah. Proud to say.
I just want to
keep self-deprecation out of these conversations.
I didn't want to insult anyone else, but I wanted to be like, have you read some of the shit from the 90s? I mean, you're reading Shakespeare compared to some of the stuff that came out
now.
Yeah.
Have you read any comic books lately?
I don't want to insult any current
It's just different. We're old. We're set in our ways. Yeah. We like good storytelling.
Yeah, I don't want to get some editor to think, oh, Dan thinks he's too good for this. F him.
No. We're not saying all new comics, just some.
Again, like I said, even some of the stuff we loved back in the 90s, there's crap.
Looking back with a fully developed frontal cortex, holy crap.
Well, that's what I said. I would have loved to have got something from him even now with the Punisher, because again, if somebody good is writing it, it's
a way to understand. I feel what I think it is. I think because the people in the service have dropped down drastically. Not everybody has at least one person that was in the service in their family to draw experience from. I feel like that's what a lot of it suffers from, because you or even just what I mean. I think that's honestly what it is. They just kind of see it in movies and the glamorized version instead of the actual real hard reality of it.
Yeah.
Or you're just like a dude, bro, Signal Doom mascot Chuck Dixon.
Don't say it. Damn it. Mark your bingo cards. I think he did okay with it for the time, but
No, yeah. Oh, the Dan was talking about story ideas and stuff, and I'm just like, I just got this vision of him and Fabian and Chuck Dixon sitting in a diner somewhere plotting out Dead Man's Hand, and it's people just overhearing. Okay, we're in Vegas. How do we kill all these gang bosses and
rob a bank and
Terror comes in and cuts some body part off somebody? Yeah.
Such a great story.
Yeah.
You gotta scroll on the Patreon for that, don't you?
What? You know what? We could do Dead Man's Hand again one day, because again, I got him and Fabian, and they pretty much ended up just BSing, which is fine with me. I was like, I'm sitting here like a fly on the wall. I'm like, oh, cool.
Yeah. Those are the best. Yeah.
Oh, that's another one. We got to find an excuse to get.
Did we do Midnight Massacre yet for Nightstalkers?
No. Yeah, no.
Oh.
That's I think that's one of the best arcs in the book.
Okay. Oh yeah, we'll have to get that out of it.
That's that starts at issue 10. So
we didn't go past. I think we did issue 1, and that was like a crossover with all the Midnight Sun stuff. We talked about that. And then I think the only other Nightstalkers we did was 8 and 9, because it had Morbius in it, but I think it was around the time.
Oh, right.
And because there's a Morbius book in the crossover for Midnight Massacre too.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. He was one of these at this time. Yeah.
Yeah, all those the Midnight Sun crossovers are interesting because they were like, okay, well, how does he?
Yeah, I want to know how they plotted. Yeah, that's you know, we're on that. We're on the big brother little sister telepathy plan.
Yeah.
It's my twin sister kids.
Yeah.
I mean, and
Wait,
then I'm
am
like,
I Arnold Schwarzenegger or are you Danny DeVito?
I don't know which one of us is shorter.
Oh man, I gotta wait 10 years. You'll start shrinking from osteoporosis.
I mean, I know you're a Terminator, but damn. All right, we got
him Nader. Get it right.
All right. Forget about robot lovers. Lilith is trying to transfer her consciousness into a robot.
Well,
aren't we all? I thought that was the plan.
6'2" Amazon. But again, I was like, I wanted to be like, what effing editor was like, oh yeah, don't put Doctor Strange in the Midnight Suns.
Well, again, sometimes they put editors. But you got to remember the time that happened too, where things were falling apart and people maybe weren't in the best editorial book for them, for their style.
Maybe, but I mean, I get people being protective of their stuff, but I'm like, I mean, Dan's even said, I mean, that was the thing in the 90s.
Yeah.
The Office would help you push a book if you had guest stars,
Again, this was the end of the road for Marvel. This is when they were almost bankrupt and stuff too. So you just got to kind of put that in perspective and take that with them.
And Doctor Strange did eventually get drafted into the Midnight Sun stuff, but it was when they changed him.
Oh,
he went a big metamorphosis at that time. So it was almost like a completely new character.
Yeah.
Yeah, the 90s, everyone either got de-aged or,
made to look like Spawn.
Had some kind of body morphing stuff. Yeah.
Made to look like Spawn or something.
Oh my God. Justin, we gotta. Oh God, I don't know if that's even on the app. We need to find that Night Watch miniseries and cover that.
Oh yeah, yes.
Well, we want to punish ourselves at some point.
Midnight sausage punishment.
Wow!
That's for the Patreon. That's behind the paywall.
I don't know if we're on Lilith's hard drive or Justin's hard drive. I don't know.
There's a little crossover, I'm sure.
God, I always want to see what happens if you two double team the guy, but I think there'd be a murder charge involved.
Oh, wait. Once we're on
a murder charge.
My NSA agent said to say allegedly.
He got too lippy. We had to teach him a lesson.
Whoa!
On that note, that murder note,
on
that death note, anime fans perk up.
All right. So next month, like I said, we're going to talk that Spider-Man cyber comic with Dan. But next, oh yeah, it's coming up next episode.
Oh yeah,
Secret Wars 2.
Electric Boogaloo.
This one really is an electric boogaloo.
Lilith already feels the flu coming on.
She's like, well, guess I'm taking the weekend off, boys.
If you could just make every Secret Wars on Sunday.
Lilith is like, oh, you mean I can come up for work Friday and not regain consciousness until morning? All right.
My coughing all weekend, amazing. I mean, my couch, my fold away couch.
That could be a pretty damn coffin for you and 7 dogs.
They got automatic feeders. They'll be okay.
Yeah.
His mom and dad, what else new?
All right, automatic feeder. We're good.
All right, yeah. So next time, I guess Justin and I will be doing Secret Wars 2 from
spoilers.
Secret Wars 2 number 6, Power Pack 18, Thor 363, Cloak and Dagger 4, Micronauts 16, and Power Man and Iron Fist 121.
Get your acid
why,
tabs
why
ready,
the
folks.
Micronauts? Or they just trying to
Secret
get
Wars
numbers
2.
on Micronauts?
We're doing every tie in the Secret Wars 2, Lilith. Hey, we're
Wow.
getting raw. We're getting raw. Man, the ROM tie-in was so great.
ROM, yeah.
Book for the Secret Wars 2 tie-in.
Space Knight Boogaloo.
It didn't even show up.
He wasn't even in the issue. It was Rick Jones
I was
and
gonna
Brandy
say,
Clark.
It was like, yeah, it was the Beyonder talking to Rick Jones.
Oh, Secret Wars 2. Don't ever change.
Jim
Yeah.
Shooter. Jim Shooter.
Get your acid tabs ready, folks.
After that, Lilith will resurrect herself, and everyone will probably be here for our next Electric Superman episode.
Oh, yeah.
From Adventures of Superman 549, Action Comics 736, Superman Man of Steel 71, and Superman 127, illustrated by friend of the show, Ron Friends.
Yeah.
Ding.
Then after that, you'll hear me and Will talking about the part 1 of our 3-part Red Daughter of Krypton, when during the New 52, Supergirl got that red lantern ring.
Everybody's had a lantern ring at this point. It's okay.
And then we'll get our last regular Supergirl episode, was we talk about all the live action Supergirl actors and the animated stuff, and then we'll get to the Supergirl movie review.
Yay!
Well, I guess I'll be taking that weekend off, boys.
You know what you should go see is He-Man. He-Man.
I thought about it. I really did think about it.
It's pretty fun. It's pretty fun, especially if you got a little green haze. I'm just saying.
Oh, well, yeah, you know. It's always
it's nice to watch with the sound off too.
I was gonna say, I think Justin wants to watch that from the comfort of his home.
We'll give it 2 weeks, right? That's the new movie.
Yeah, that's true. Won't have to wait that long.
$10 on Amazon or wherever you rent your movies.
Yeah.
Let's watch it at home, Lilith, high as a kite and no pants.
You got it.
So yes, I guess the weekend we cover the Supergirl movie, as Justin will be in his hemp coffin.
Need a little recharge. You know how it is.
My boxed sofa.
Oh my.
And right. Dear Helen Slater, please don't listen.
Oh my. All right.
Love you as a person, hate you as original Supergirl.
All right. Send us your thoughts. Email us CapesandLunatics@gmail.com or call the voicemail 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. And remember, you can find us on pretty much all social media. Help support us by buying merch at TeePublic and Spring. And again, Lilith Hellfire's favorite method of support, just we do nothing and you just rain the money on us. So
make it rain.
Do it through the Cash App link.
We need the money. Gimme.
Capes and Lunatics.
Make it rain.
And of course the Patreon. Again, you get at least one exclusive uncensored episode every month. For June, you kind of get 2 because we did one so big. Hey, yes, we split it up. So part 1 is already out that you could have listened to on Lilith Hellfire Day.
6ix9ine.
So
if you're American anyway.
All right. So get that. You get early access to all of these episodes and the best value for your dollar. You can't, when you subscribe, you can suggest topics for us to talk about. So it is the only safe legal way to tell Lilith Hellfire what to do. So tell her what to do.
Shut up, Phil.
All right. So good.
That's what Phil can do.
Wow. The money's right, baby. All right, go to Patreon and subscribe. Go to patreon.com/CapesandLunatics.
We're gonna need an update on the watch hours after the end of this, so we can know how close to monetization we are, Phil. So I can
yeah,
get that boom tube fired up for old Eve having water.
Oh God, I know what Lilith's gonna be doing during our Secret Wars 2 episode. She can be anytime she feels like swearing, she can like burn herself or something. No, I can't swear anymore. She's gonna pray the evil away. Eve is gonna show up.
Yeah, all right.
All right. And of course, if you need more Justin the Owl, and of course you do, go check out the Lost Library of Legends.
Yes, this week I put out a new episode of Adventures into the Mindscape, the Sleepwalker podcast, where me and my pal Russell talk about the first part of the ultimate Sleepwalker epic known as Mindfield.
You know my favorite line from that episode, and Lilith, I will tell you it when we get off of here, because I'm not even going to say it on here. And of course, it's a Russell line.
Yes, I think Lilith will love that one.
Yes, she will. Yeah, check out Lost Library of Legends. Oh, you need to listen to it. It's good.
I'll listen to it tomorrow.
Go check out, go pick up Dick Grayson Boy Wonder on Amazon. Go support our friend Kristen. Help support an educator on her summer vacation. And of course, you can follow me all over social media at PodfatherPhil. All right. So thank you for joining us for another Chichester Chat, and come back here next month or you will be punished.